Okay, in today's C++ programming class, we will try to understand how to define a method outside of the class. In the previous class, we tried to understand how to create the class inside of the class. Okay, in today's class, we will try to understand how to create a method outside of the class. These all classes are being conducted under my Lakshmi Narayan Krishna Foundation, thrice of a week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sharply at 8 p.m. Okay. So now, sometimes what happen, it is better to declare the method in the class, inside of the class. Okay. Sometimes it is better to declare the method in the class and define it later. So we will declare the method inside of the class and we will define it later, especially for large programs. Okay, that is called a method, defining a method outside of the class. So how it is being done? This is being done by what name of the class followed by the scope resolution operator. These two columns are called scope resolution operator followed by the name of the function. Okay, let us see. This is the code. We will practice the code as it is. Okay, here. So just I want to brief, then after we will try to write the code as it is. So outside of the class, how a method is being created outside. This is the class created with the class name, class keyword, name of the class, and then public. That is very important. Public access specifier. It will specify the access level of the class. Next, void keyword, then method name. Okay, now this is one class created. Now method created, declared. This is the declaration of the method inside of the class. Next, method to be defined outside of the class. So again, void class name, this operator that is called followed by scope resolution operator. Scope resolution operator. Next, method name again. Okay, and inside of that method define. Definition means whatever the output you want to get, that statement. Now create a object. Okay, as it is, create object for that class, and by that object you call that method, call the method. Okay, create an object of the class. Now let us see how to do like this. This is the code. This is the total code. You delete the total code and you remove everything. This is the code window, this is the result window, this is the result window, this is the code window. This is, I told you, that web editor, online web editor, so that you need not to install your any IDEs. Okay, now here simple code you write include, then after what, IOStream. I told you that this is a library to work with input and output objects. Next, one more library if you want to work with string variable, string data type, that moment you need to include string. Otherwise, using namespace standard, this is a standard library that will be work with whenever you want to work with objects and methods and variables. If you want to keep the names for objects, variables and methods, so this library is very compulsory. Then after, next is what, you need to create a class. Class is very important. Class, any class name, suppose fruit is a class. Okay, then after what, fruit class, then after these braces, starting brace, end brace. So class that is to be terminated with semicolon. Now inside of this class, first of all, class is defined with the class keyword. Okay, this is the class name, fruit. Next is what, access level. Your access level is public. Public means all your data members of the class. Public. Okay, public means what, this is public. Public means all your data members of that class, variables, methods, they can be accessed outside of the class, access level. Next is what, your data, method declaration, void, method any name. I told you that test is a method. Method always it must has the brackets, parenthesis. So now this is what your method is declared. I told you that method declared inside of the class and it is defined outside of the class. It is defined now. Now your method is declared inside of the class. Outside of the class, we need to define the method. What is method name? Test. Okay. Next. Now this is called outside definition. The method is being defined outside of the class. This is from here to here. This is the class. Inside of the class, method is declared. Declaration. This is called declaration of the declaration of the class. Okay. Declaration of the method inside of the class. Declaration of the method inside of the class. Next, this is defining of the method outside of the class. So now outside of the class, cout, this is an object mostly used to see the result on the screen. Insertion operator, whatever the content. If you want to keep a string operator here, a string type of data. What is your name? Okay. So now this is a string type of data kept in string double quotation marks. Next, if you want to keep any next line character, backslash n. Okay, and this is statement to be terminated semicolon. Now what happened? See, this method is defined. This is called defining of the method. This is called defining of the. Now your method defined by this operator. Okay, this is the void method and this class name and method. Now inside of this, whatever the statement you want to get display on the screen. Next, you need to create the object. How the object will be created in main function. Okay, main function, and inside of this flower braces, first of all you need to create an object. For what? Object for what? Class. What class? Fruit class. And then object name is what? Any object you need to keep any object name. Suppose if it is in a banana object, banana, this is the object name. Okay, now you can call this method with the object name. You can call this method with this object name. How can you call? Banana is the object dot, what is the method name? Taste. Okay, now terminate. So then after return 0 is very compulsory. It indicates that return 0 indicates that the function is closed. The function, main function is closed. Here banana is an object created for fruit. Okay, now if you run this code, let us see what happened. You will get the result. What is your name? That will be whether it will be what is your name. So it is being displayed. What do you mean of this? So this is called declaring of the method outside of the class. Okay, there is it has two parts. First of all, we need to declare a method inside of a class in these flower braces. Declaration and then defining of the method. Okay, with this operator separator. Okay, and this is the class and this is the method void keyword. Inside of this, whatever the statement you want to keep, and inside of this main function, create the object for this class, object banana. Now call that function method with the object return 0. This is the statement. Okay, so by this is called declaring of the method outside of the class. Declaring of the method outside of the class. Understood? It's very simple to understand, but nothing to worry. Okay, that's why the class is over. Today we have